and welcome to the Carolina Warrior TV Podcast. I am the only one who's on camera, which is odd, and I'm in my living room in South Charlotte. Joe Pacheco, where are you situated at? You're in a bunker, aren't you?
I am in the beautiful city of Rock Hill, South
Carolina. It's the thrill down there in the hill. How's the weather right there in Rock Hill? I know it's raining up here right now.
I don't even know, man. I mean, I literally just woke up like 5 minutes ago.
You are not. You're not prepared for this whole thing, are you?
Hey, man.
You're probably in
Technology makes it easy.
Yeah, it does. It really does. I'm in my shorts and a shirt I just pulled from out of the laundry here. So
definitely in my jammies.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of doing this. I'm the only one, so I'm the only one who has to literally wash my face, so I look I don't look pretty at all. So
yeah, that wouldn't help at all.
No, it wouldn't.
Serious surgery and make you look pretty.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. I always thought black was beautiful, but
hey man, you're a handsome guy. Pretty, I would never go.
Joe Pacheco, you are seriously hurting my Sunday morning vibe. But I do know somebody who is pretty, and he just had a fight up there in Maine. And a lot of North Carolinians, if you follow MMA, know this young man. And you probably heard his British chuckle on the sweet background of our thing here, and that is Matt Pretty Boy Probin. You're up there in Maine. How's the weather in Maine, Matty?
Mate, it's not too bad. It's pretty nice this morning. Pretty sunny. You know, I've had to be out in the back garden chasing away some moose. You know, like we do.
Chasing away moose.
Oh yeah.
There's moose up there?
Oh, moose everywhere, mate. Moose everywhere. In fact, you know, last week my car broke down, so I had to tame a moose, and I've been riding a moose bare-chested to the gym all week.
That is pretty hardcore shit. That's
it's just how we do up north, mate. It's just how we do, you know.
He is like the Old Spice man.
I was going to go a little more cynical in dictatorship with Putin out there in Russia. riding horses bare-chested through the countryside, but
he's imitating the Canadian Mounties and saying, "Look at your puny horses."
And here's my tatted chest out for everybody to see. That is hardcore stuff. Matt Probin, it's been a while since the Carolina fans have seen you. How is life treating you?
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate. Yeah, it has been a while, but. No, I do. I like it up here. I like it up here a lot. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place up here. And like I said, I've been keep meaning to come back down south, and especially fight down there too. I do miss it. You know, I miss training with some of you guys. But things have been going well. You know, I've been pretty busy. I've been all over the world too. You know, since I moved up to Maine, I've been to England and back a few times. I've been fighting in England. I was in Thailand for like 4 or 5 months, fighting over in Thailand. Like, I've just been kind of all over the place. So
let's talk about the immediate past. I don't know if there's a definition for that, but you just had a fight on Friday. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way you wanted to. You had some health problems. Just, I don't want you to get all depressed and start boo-hooing on here, but just tell us what happened in your words.
I mean, it's just one of those things. It was just shit timing, just shit luck. 2 weeks ago, I was feeling incredible. Seriously, 2 weeks ago, I was doing like 10 rounds straight boxing, like feeling on top of the world. I felt strong, I felt quick, I felt amazing, and I was like, this fight is going to be fantastic. I was fighting really tough, undefeated guy. You know, his dad was like a HBO world champ or something. His dad still holds the record for the most punches thrown in any fight, in any boxing match, and his dad's also got the most punches thrown in any round in a boxing match. So his dad's got, you know, like a few world records and stuff like that. His dad's a big deal, you know, everybody knows him. So he's got like a big name, you know. And I was really looking forward to sort of really making my name off him, because it was going to be such a good fight. Like I said, he was 6-0 or 7-0 as a boxer. You know, good, obviously good, strong fighter. But I really knew I could beat him, and it just the worst luck, mate. Like literally about 10, 11 days before the fight, I wasn't feeling too bad. I go home, and then just one night, boom, it just hits me. I have fevers and chills and aches and stuff, and I'm just up all night, just sweating and coughing and stuff. And I was hoping, maybe it's just like a cold or a flu or something. And so I went to CVS, got some airborne and some Theraflu, and I thought I was going to be able to just fight it off, but it just got worse and worse and worse. And then one day in training, my coach was like, right, listen, you need to go to like the walk-in or something, see what's up. And then I ended up having pretty bad like bronchitis and chest infection.
Well, you don't have time for that if you got bronchitis, by the way.
Yeah, ain't nobody got time for that. I got bronchitis. But yeah, it sucked, man. So I was on antibiotics for, all through fight week. I stopped taking antibiotics the day of the fight, and I was just drained, man. Like, I can't really make any excuses. My head was in it. I was ready for the fight. I was excited. I love to fight, obviously I enjoyed every minute of it, but my body was just a few steps behind. Like, I could see what he was throwing, and I was like, all right, slip, uppercut, left up to the body, but my body just wasn't doing it, it was just a few steps behind, and still managed to put on a good show. I still stole a few of the rounds. It was still close. He actually only beat me by like 1 point.
Wow.
Which sucks because it's just frustrating because I know if I was 100%, I could have beat him, But like I said, it is what it is. I'm healthy, and I think we got a rematch in February. So he's gonna realize how lucky he got this last time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man, that's great. I'm happy we'll be able to get that rematch. Was that fight in Lewiston, or what part of Maine was that in?
No, that was actually in Rhode Island. It was at Twin Rivers Casino, Rhode Island, for CES boxing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, big show. Like they put on a great show. It was crazy. Like they had like press conferences, and I wasn't even ready for it. I turn up to weigh-ins in like my tracksuit and shit. I've been cutting weight, and then next thing you know, like as soon as we weigh in, we got press conferences. They're putting me on the mic, asking me a bunch of questions, and I'm like,
I wasn't ready.
All those interviews that I've done with you, and you weren't ready for a press conference up there?
Exactly, mate. Exactly.
So you should have called me up. Hey, can I make a Dr. Quinn medicine woman diagnosis about your cold?
Yes.
Which is you're going around riding around bare chested in the wintertime on mooses. How about you stop that? And you could have been.
Well, mate, listen. What you gotta realize is I've got skin like a walrus. Okay?
No, you don't. You're British and you're pale. You don't have skin like a walrus. You have British pale skin, handsome British pale skin.
There we go.
I want to touch on this just to get off the subject of the last fight. But this past year, I guess you're in Thailand.
Yeah.
What was that experience like? What were you out there trying to do other than improve your skills as a fighter?
Oh, mate, it was just an absolutely unreal experience. Incredible. I love Thailand. I love the people over there. I love the way of life over there. It was crazy, man. It was something I've always been wanting to do. I would say kickboxing and Muay Thai is really my bread and butter. Actually, I've still, even like pro, I've had 4 pro fights and I had a bunch of amateur fights. I actually haven't lost a kickboxing or Muay Thai fight yet. So I would say that's definitely my bread and butter, and I love it. I really do. So it's something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. And then I had a friend of mine who was out there, Stephen Moore. Mm-hmm. He was out there at the time, and he kept sending me pictures and videos and stuff. And I was like, oh man, I've been dying to get out there. And he said, look, man, he's like, just do it. You just got to do it. And he ended up speaking to the gym he was at for me, and they had a sponsored fighters position open. So I ended up speaking to them a little bit, sending them some videos of my kickboxing fights and stuff like that. And they said, look, mate, you're welcome to come over here for like a month's trial. A month, in a month we'll have you fight like once or twice, see how you do. And then if you get the sponsorship, then the training is free and all that sort of stuff. But then they take like 50% of like your fight purse or something, which isn't crazy in Thailand anyway, But I was just like, you know what? Literally on, I think it was like 8 days notice. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And then next thing you know, 8 days later, I'm on a plane to Thailand for 4 months, and it was probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. It was absolutely incredible. I ended up getting the sponsored fighters position, which was big because I got to the gym, and for possibly one of the first times in my life, I get there, I get to the gym, and I just see all these animals, just these absolute savages, just kicking, kneeing, elbowing these pads and bags, and I'm like, oh shit! I was like, I might be out of my depth there, because it wasn't like a tourist gym; it was like a sponsored fighters only gym. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, you know, a bunch of tourists or like wannabe fighters or anything. It was just pure. I think the guy in there with the least amount of pro Thai fights had like 37 pro Thai fights or something. And,
wow.
And I was getting ready to make my pro Thai debut, so I was like, oh shit, you know, maybe might be biting off more than I can chew. But no, I went head first, mate. Just got myself stuck in. It was training like 2 times a day, but it's before you train, you know, you go run like 5 miles before every training session, and it was just ridiculous. The training was so hard that all you had time to do was wake up in the morning, run, train, go home, eat, sleep, wake up, run, train, eat, sleep. It was just that, rinse and repeat. And then after I had a fight, I had a couple of days to like explore Thailand, and all that fun stuff. But honestly, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was incredible. I had some really tough fights, and actually got pretty fortunate enough to, my last fight over there, I managed to fight on Max Muay Thai, which is actually the most watched Thai show in the world now.
Is that the one you're wearing the silk robe? I don't know if that's the technical.
Yeah. I mean, we
because you look pretty flashy.
Yeah, it is. It's I tell you what, it was just an amazing experience. Fighting over there is just so raw. It's so different to anything you'd ever really expect, you know. And I love it. It was like I said, they tell you 2 or 3 days before you fought, you know, you just be training, and then they'll just give you a fight poster with a picture of you on it, and it says you're fighting in 2 days. So then you take the next day off, you know, rest and recover, and then you turn up the next day to fight. And you get in the back of a pickup truck. There's about 15 of you coming in the back of this pickup truck. Seriously, it's crazy. Get in the back of this pickup truck, and then you just drive like an hour through like the countryside and stuff like that, through these winding roads. You got elephants chasing you, you know, coming out of the bushes and stuff. It's just unreal. And then you drive into the stadium, and then you can hear it before you even get there, you know. It's like, tonight, championship fight, Bangla Boxing Stadium. And you're like, oh shit, this is dope. And then you get there, you have no idea, like at the local stadiums, you have no idea who you're fighting. It could be absolutely anybody. There's no weigh-ins, so they try and attempt to put you closest to weight to whoever's there. My third fight there, I actually fought a 200-pound Thai. I didn't even know they made Thais that big, but no. Granted, there was a 200-pound Thai, and he was a monster, and he kicked the shit out of me. But I managed to catch him with some elbows. But it was unreal. So you don't know who you're fighting. You go there, and then so you're eyeing everybody up. You know, everyone's eyeing you up. You're trying to find out, you know, who looks the closest to your weight and stuff like that. And there's a bunch of these like angry-looking, ripped-up Thais, and you're like, oh, I hope it's not him. I hope it's not him. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be him, you know. And then you just get oiled down. You get massaged. That's all they do to warm you up. You know, you don't have a warm-up or anything like that. They just put that Thai liniment oil on you. They give you like a good like rub-down massage, and then you stick the rope on you.
Is that for the fighter, or is that for something else?
No, yeah.
No happy endings there.
No, not that one.
Very aggressive.
Because 9 times out of 10, like they just put you on this wooden table, and then 9 times out of 10 you're actually right next to your opponent. Your opponent's getting a massage right next to you, and you guys are just like eyeing each other up while you're getting.
I was going to say, don't make eye contact during that point. That would be very weird. But to
always
each his own.
Always make eye contact, Chaz. Always make eye contact.
I wouldn't do that.
Dude, how do you go from an experience like that to Maine?
Right? Yeah, it was different. It was difficult because that experience, like I said, it's just so raw, and just everything they do over there, like the way they wrap your hands, like they just put, it's just crazy. They just put like a bunch of tape on your knuckles. Like nobody comes and checks like hand wraps or anything like that. So they just tape up your knuckles so they're just massive. They just feel like bricks. And then I was fighting in 4-ounce boxing gloves out there too. So it wasn't like So I was fighting in these tiny little 4-ounce boxing gloves. And it's just so, like I said, you don't know who you're fighting. My first fight over there, I fought somebody, with just a few fights, and I ended up beating him. My second fight over there, I fought somebody with over 100 pro fights. He used to fight on TV, like he had like a belt and everything. I got pretty lucky and managed to catch him with a liver kick in the first round. Otherwise, that was going to shape up to be a rough night. He was a little monster. And then, like I said, my third fight, I fought a 200-pound Thai who had 70-something pro fights. Absolute monster. I got lucky and ended up catching him with some elbows, because let me tell you, this guy was massive, mate. Everything I was throwing, punches, kicks, just would not move this guy. Like, I was just trying to, 4-ounce gloves, and I'm just drilling him with my hands, like, just drilling. His head wouldn't even move. He had, like, this massive pumpkin head that was just, wasn't doing anything. So I was like, and every time he kicked me, like, I'd move halfway across the ring. I was like, all right, I need to figure something out. Like, this isn't working out. So I managed to catch him with a few elbows, give him that Mark Hominick, bloody forehead.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, I got lucky. My fourth fight was on national TV, and that was just an unreal experience, just absolutely unreal.
So, how do you go from being a British guy to coming over to America, becoming pretty Americanized, then going over to Thailand? That must have been a pretty jarring, even without the fight experience, that must have been a pretty jarring experience, eye-opening probably too.
Yeah, it was, but I mean, I've traveled a lot.
You're in the British Navy, weren't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I've traveled a lot, and even when I was young, I lived in South Africa for a few years. I lived America, England. I've just kind of been all over the place. I've been to a bunch of, just been lucky, just been really fortunate enough to travel. So I kind of, I took it with a grain of salt and managed to fit in, and I made a lot of really good mates at the gym. There's some good English lads there too. Like it was great, because in the gym, like, all the sponsored fighters were just people from all over the world. There's guys from Sweden, Brazil, Spain, France, England, just literally anywhere you could think of in the world. There was just like these great fighters. So I just, like I said, I just fit in really well. And I loved every minute of it. I definitely couldn't complain.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man.
What is you're sort of not really doing the MMA thing now, and I take it your passion is more doing boxing and kickboxing now. So,
well,
go ahead.
Here's the thing, like I'm just a pugilist, really. Like, as long as I can have a good old scrap with somebody somewhere, I'm all right. I'm quite happy with that. I would say my bread and butter is kickboxing and Muay Thai,
Sure.
but I love it. I love it. But up here in Maine, like in New England, like the New England boxing scene is massive.
Yeah.
It's, like the boxing scene up here in New England is great. Fighting all these great fighters from New York, Philly, New Jersey, Connecticut, like fighting really good boxers. So we've got a really good boxing scene up here. So I've kind of, really gotten into boxing since I've been up here. I'm still getting ready for MMA. Actually, I'm probably going to take an MMA fight early next year. I'm still training. I've got a pretty good gym up here, MMA gym. They've got a few.
Go ahead and tell us about your gym up there in Maine. Give them a little bit of love.
Okay, well, first off, my boxing gym has been my main gym since I've been up here. It's Cugno Boxing. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Joey Gamache. He used to be a big fighter. He fought Arturo Gatti, Chavez,
Yes.
Some of those guys, yeah. So it's actually his old gym, but now Gamache is in Belgium, training in Belgium. So we're using his old gym, and I've got an awesome coach. He's brilliant. He's like a dad to me. You know what I mean? He just does everything for his fighters and takes me all over the place. I've had a bunch of fights with him now. We just travel, all over and just fight people. It's great. And like I said, I love boxing. Boxing's great. Sometimes I want to knee some of these guys in the head, but I can't. It's the only thing with boxing. They start doing all that Mayweather stuff. They start trying to look all flash, and they start dipping the head, and it's just so hard for me not to bring a knee up and just.
You still have the violent tendencies in you.
Yeah, I guess so. But so far, so good, But yeah, no, the New England scene is pretty good. Like I said, the New England boxing scene is massive up here. So that's why I've been boxing predominantly, and plus the the money in boxing is quite a bit more than MMA. So that helps too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got my own house now. I'm all wifed up and shit,
Oh.
so I need to make money.
That's right. Welcome to the life of responsibilities.
Right? Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Fucking nuts.
Oh man.
So before,
I know.
oh, go ahead, Joe. My fault.
I was gonna say I know with all the travels, it does help that that you are a dude, an awesome dude, man. Everybody, I don't think I've ever come across anybody, at least down here that you've crossed paths with and didn't like. I mean, for Christ's sake, you have to be the smallest bouncer I've ever seen in my life.
That wasn't always fun, but I kept me on my toes.
Before we let you go here, Maddie, tell us, we're coming up this last month of 2016. What do you look forward to for yourself in 2017?
Mate, just staying busy. Seriously, I love it. I love to fight. Actually, I've just had my eighth pro fight in 8 months. So it's quite a lot. I've been pretty busy. I'm averaging 1 pro fight a month. So I'm trying to keep that going. Really trying to keep that going. I went 4-0 with 4 knockouts in Thailand. I come back here and I jumped straight into pro boxing, and I've had 1 pro boxing match every month since I've been back. So, and again, I've got another pro boxing match in January. I've got a rematch with the guy I just fought in February. March, I'm looking to make my pro MMA debut. So already, just keeping busy, man. I've got to, I've got to have something there, just keeping me busy, keeping me active, keeping me going in the right direction.
Absolutely.
You need to keep you off the back of a moose.
Send me that. Have somebody take a photo of that next time, and I'll try to use that as a photo somewhere. Just that.
Perfect. I'm on it.
Get a shirt made.
The Moose Fighter. All right. I think that'll do it. Maddie, always love talking to you.
Yeah, I miss you guys. You guys are brilliant. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man.
Oh, man. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. All right.
All right, speak to you guys soon.
All right. Thank you, Matt.
We'll see you, Matt.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
That was Matt Probin, MMA, New England superstar up there. Really good guy. Always love talking to him, no matter if there's a microphone in front of us or not. So,
solid guy.
Absolutely, and they still love him down here in the Carolinas. Hell, I love him. So it's just always good to hear his cheeky British voice talking to me or talking to us. So hopefully get to see him sometime next year.
Great storyteller, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeez.
Absolutely. You can just let him go on and listen to him talk about his travels and everything in between. I want to thank him for being on the show. I guess, Joe, we should talk about what's going to happen with this little podcast here.
Oh, yeah. We're spreading our wings, baby.
Yeah, spreading our wings.
You got to let us fly.
Yeah, and I think the scene down here in Charlotte in the Carolinas, it's a little thin with MMA, as good as it can be. There's, at least for me, talking off the top of my head, it's a little hard to talk about events when they're months apart.
Yeah.
As much as we love the guys and talking to the guys, all the guests we've had, and these few shows that we've had, it's always good talking to them, but it's sort of just hard to keep that going for months and weeks on end between stuff. So I think what we're going to do, this is sort of going to morph. We've got another buddy we're going to work with, one of my friends and becoming one of yours, Mr. Kenny Ramsey, and this is sort of going to develop into more of a social current events type podcast, probably later on this month and definitely into next year, because there's a lot of stuff we can just talk about, not just MMA.
Absolutely. It really plays off of the videotaping we had all together, the great chemistry we all had. And that was, I'm not a professional. It was your show, but it seemed like it was a pretty good, view, to see how everything turned out. But
yeah,
it's going to be great, man. It's going to be great.
Yeah, and the show we were talking about was we taped a public access show here in Charlotte called 28 Minutes. I still haven't gotten the time when that's going to air. That's a special that we did, and we talked about the election and some other things that going forward. Had some good guests, and just playing off of that's sort of going to become, I'll have the public access show, and then we'll have a podcast we'll probably do every 2 weeks, talk about current events, and it's just three guys just sitting around a table, hopefully with some good coffee and some microphones, and we'll just go off with current events.
Drink coffee. It'll have to be some good tea.
Okay, well, you can have your fancy. You should have asked Maddie about some Earl Grey British tea or something like that.
I don't even know. I've been quite some time. I will take tips from the pro.
Yeah, there you go. I'll always go straight to the source. But as great as this has been, as like I said, talking to the guys, it's just sort of hard pulling teeth in a small sense to trying to get stuff going for a couple weeks in between MMA events, and maybe when there is an event, we'll get somebody to invite on, and just almost as long as they're as good as Matt and some of these other guys, we'll be all right. But
you have to meet his interview if you want to be. If you want to have an interview.
I think he's probably one of the poll leader right now as far as interviews that we've done.
By far.
Yeah. So I think that's what we're going to do here with the Carolina Warrior TV podcast. The name will probably change on the Facebook page and everything else to whatever the hell we can decide on between now and that time we want to start taping in a couple of weeks. We still have to brainstorm about that. Maybe we'll get a...
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that's always the hardest part. Talking is easy, but naming stuff is pretty hard. It's not like a child and you can say Jeffrey or whatever the hell.
No, that's easy.
Just throw a dartboard. So this sort of incarnation of Carolina Warrior TV, I guess, will end, but it will morph into something better. A phoenix will rise, and
that's right. We're going into our chrysalis, and we're going to come out something better.
That's a fancy word you just put out there. I've never.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's very good.
I watched a Magic School Bus yesterday with my kids.
Daddy time with the Magic School Bus and cartoon time.
There it is. I don't need kids to have cartoon time, though.
Yeah, you need to have that. So I think that's it. That'll do it for Carolina Warrior TV, and probably in the next couple of weeks there'll be something else. Joe, go put on some pants and get ready for church. And
you don't tell me what to do.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what you're about to do. Yeah, that's what I thought.
It was predetermined.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I foreshadowed it. All right, so that'll do it for this podcast. Joe, thank you very much. Matt,
always a pleasure, Chaz.
Thank you, sir, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And we thank everybody for listening and watching, especially if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook. This is my beautiful apartment with bare walls, and don't judge me. All right, folks.
Judge away.
Yeah, shut up. All right, thank you, everybody, and see you next time.
Bye, guys.